Did you know the average neurologist gets only 2 to 4 hours of training on migraine in their entire medical degree, not just in 1 year, but their entire career? That's less time than most people spend in a single migraine attack. And yet, these are the people we think of as the experts. They mean well, but most of that training focuses on one thing: medications. Why? Because the people writing the textbooks, funding the research, and sponsoring the conferences are the same trillion-dollar pharmaceutical companies that make the pills. So when you sit in that doctor's office with the bright fluorescent lights next time, hoping for answers, your doctor has about 15 minutes to look at your chart, hear your story, and then sadly just hand you a prescription. I mean, it's fast, it's easy, and it's billable with the insurance. And for a little while, it helps until it doesn't. And then you wake up in a migraine nightmare with nothing that works. Here's the problem with medications in the long run: the medication numbs the signal or the symptom, which is the pain, but it doesn't fix the system that keeps sending it. I know because that used to be me. For 22 years, I lived with migraine, 15 attacks a month. Sometimes it felt like my brain had forgotten how to turn the pain switch off. And one day, I woke up and the pain became constant, a headache every single day, from the moment I woke up until I fell asleep. You want to hear the embarrassing part? I have a doctorate in pharmacy. I was the pharmacist who couldn't fix myself, the guy who knew every drug mechanism, every neurotransmitter pathway, and yet I still woke up in pain. And this is how desperate I became. Spotify, Spotify once told me on my wrapped up at the end of the year, I averaged 4.5 hours of health podcasts a day. Yeah, that's right, per day, 4.5 hours. I was drowning in information and starving for help and a transformation. But that's when it hit me. The problem was that I didn't know enough. It was that I wasn't doing the right things in the right order with the right kind of support. A lot of people say knowledge is power. Well, I disagree, because knowledge isn't power. Applied knowledge is power. You can't just keep searching and listening to podcasts. We have to apply the knowledge. And what's better than applied knowledge? Applied knowledge with accountability and feedback. Now that's transformation. So I stopped collecting the facts and started taking action. In a matter of weeks, I was collecting results. I found people who had been where I was, people who had actually rewired their nervous system and taught their brain what safety feels like again. And within days, yes, not months or weeks, but in days, everything started to change. After being stuck with for decades, I felt 80% better within 7 days. And within 5 weeks, I was in remission. No medications, no supplements, no restrictive diets, just simply a brain that finally remembered safety after decades. So for years, heat was a trigger for me, so I avoided exercise. Now I train hard, sweat, push my body, and my nervous system stays calm. No headaches, no migraine attacks days later, or right after, really. For years, lights and screens, they meant instant pain and eye strain. So I had to quit my job as a professor and a medical provider. But now I film under bright studio lights for thousands of people, and I don't even think about migraine. On top of that, for years, like air pressure, flights, even fragrances could send me spiraling. But now I live in the Rocky Mountains. I hike thousands of feet of elevation, which, for comparison, an average moderate storm front that comes in, it's about like 7 to 9 millibars of pressure change. Whereas like hiking a Rocky Mountain, like a 14,000 foot mountain, I'm experiencing like 170 millibars of pressure change. This is like, no storm creates that much pressure change and still nothing happens to me. Zero migraine. I share that not to impress you, but to impress upon you what's possible. Because I know there's someone watching this who's tried everything. Someone who's been told you just have to live with it. Someone who's spent nights on the bathroom floor begging their brain to stop. You might have even started to believe this is who you are now, that migraine has become your identity. But it's not who you are. It's just where your nervous system is stuck right now. And you might already be doing the right things, just in the wrong order. You might be chasing the next diet, supplement, or gadget, but you're missing the real target. Because migraine is not just pain. There are chemical and electrical changes that need to be fixed. Your brain runs on patterns like software running on hardware. When it believes it's unsafe, it keeps the alarm system switched on. No matter how clean your diet, how perfect your supplements, or how much you sleep, if the brain thinks it's under threat, it will not let you heal. The real solution isn't to suppress the pain with a Band-Aid like medications. It's to reset the brain and then to get it regulated so you can retrain your brain, to teach your brain safety again, to build resilience instead of avoidance, to rewire the pattern that keeps firing. And here's the best part. It doesn't take years. It doesn't even take hours each day. It takes minutes, done consistently and correctly with the right direction. 20 minutes a day can completely change your life. That's why I created the Migraine Reset and Rewire system. It's a step-by-step method to help people reset, regulate, and rewire their brain for safety. Because after helping hundreds of clients, I've seen the same story repeat again and again and again. I don't just spend 2 to 4 hours on migraine. It's all I do every day. Everything I research, I read about, and I practice and train and coach others is simply on migraine. People are stuck for decades and then suddenly they're free in days, sometimes weeks. People who couldn't exercise, now they're running half marathons. People who quit their business, now they're quadrupling their revenue. People who thought they were broken, realizing they were never broken at all. Their brain was simply stuck in trying too hard to protect them. So if your doctor has told you there's nothing left to try, if you're tired of living appointment to appointment and you've lost years of your life to something no one seems to understand, I want you to know it can change, and it can change fast. I dropped a link in the description of this video so you can watch our free migraine masterclass. That's where I break down the system and to reset, regulate, and rewire your brain so you can start living migraine free again without medications or restrictive diets or anything else. So click the link in the description below. And if this message spoke to you, hit the like and subscribe so you don't miss the next one where we go deeper into the science of fixing this problem. Because this is what I wish someone had told me years before I even found freedom. You don't have to live in fear of your brain. You just have to teach it how to feel safe again. And remember, what got you here in life and your health, it won't get you there. You have to take action now because 20 minutes a day can completely change your life. I know it did for me.